Hello, I know I only posted a video 3 days ago, but people seem to like my content. I don't know why, I just stand here and ramble. But I'm posting this because, and there is a reason why, I watch a lot of physical media stuff on YouTube. And I also watch a lot of the British YouTubers who go out and they do the Blu-ray hunt videos, which I'm absolutely fine with. Personally, myself, I don't know why I just did that. Personally, myself, I wouldn't go out and film myself hunting for Blu-rays in CEX or HMV. I think it's a bit, for me, it's a bit weird. I don't like filming myself in public, which is why there is only 2 blogs or vlogs on my channel, which I think is set to private, or I'm not sure. I can't remember. They might be public, but who knows. But I do pick up Blu-rays, clearly. I pick up movies. There are channels that I would say I'd recommend watching. Kermit's Ghost, best Blu-ray hunter on the planet. Insanely good collection, although I do not agree with him buying bootlegs. But I can understand he wants these products on a physical format, which is very, very, very fair. These companies should be releasing stuff, but his channel is fantastic. Go and check it out. Big Paulie's another one who's pretty good, although sometimes maybe not. No, it's not even with Big Paulie. It's just in general. Like people who go out and they will buy anything. They will buy anything and everything because they're hunting for Blu-rays. Now, for people who say that Blu-rays or physical media is dead or is dying because Best Buy no longer supports the physical media, go online. You can buy anything anywhere these days. It just means Best Buy is just not carrying stock anymore. It's not a big deal. It's still out there. But I do pick up stuff. As you can see, this is the stuff that I picked up. So I'm going to do, and it's something that I haven't done for a long time, which most of the videos prior to me releasing the sad truth of being a physical media collector, most of them are physical media updates or Blu-ray and DVD updates. But I'm going to show you what I picked up because some of these are pretty cool. And I picked them up quite cheap. There are a fair few. Some of these I've seen, some of them I haven't seen, but I know of them, and they're ones that I've wanted to watch, which is why I picked them up, because they were cheap. I'm not going to go through the stuff I had for Christmas, because I did show them. I had the Arrow Video MGM Full Moon. I think it's Full Moon. Is it Full Moon? Well, it's the Charles Band stuff. This is a really good box set, by the way. And the other one I had is, if I can get it out, I also had the big old Skywalker saga on Blu-ray, which is very, very cool, and I love Star Wars. I tell you what, if you want me to do a Star Wars video, just comment on this video and I will go over my Star Wars collection. I say collection, I'll go over my Star Wars movies. But yeah, I just wanted to go through the stuff that I've picked up. And this stuff is stuff that's been picked up over the last 2 months or so. Obviously, what happened with my mum over Christmas, or just before Christmas, I didn't really buy a lot. So this is mainly, I'd say, November and a couple of things that I picked up over December and into January, which I picked up a couple the other day. Because I was feeling sad and I wanted to cheer myself up. So, there was a sale on the Signal One website. I'm waiting for 2 more movies to show up, but one has arrived. It is Rutger Hauer in Wanted Dead or Alive. I can't remember if I've seen this. I know I used to own the DVD. I used to own the Anchor Bay release of this, but I can't remember if I ever watched it. I do know that Gene Simmons is the villain in this. For some reason, he was also the villain in, where is it? What film is it? Gene Simmons is also the villain in Michael Crichton's Runaway with Tom Selleck. Weird. So apparently Gene Simmons liked playing villains in the late 80s, early 90s. This is 86, by the way. So yeah, Rutger Hauer in Wanted, Dead or Alive. World War II zombie action now with Overlord. I love this film. This film's so cool. I wrote quite a long review about this when I first saw it. There was a slew of like short films and like other quite low budget movies that came out about the same time as this, including like Frankenstein's Army and a lot of like these like German zombie Nazi horror movies. Like Dead Snow as well is also pretty good, and Dead Snow 2 is just mental. But Overlord is pretty cool. It's kind of starts off a little bit Band of Brothers and then just turns straight up zombie movie. It's very cool. I really wanted to get this because I only saw it via a dodgy stream. But yeah, this is a pretty cool movie. So glad I picked it up now. I was actually looking for this on Amazon and I couldn't find it, but I found it for $5.99 in HMV. So these next few are some are upgrades, and one is a new edition. These first two are some awesome 80s John Hughes teen movies, and we've got the iconic Ferris Bueller. Such a good film. Bueller. Matthew Broderick's role as Ferris Bueller is iconic. It's got Jennifer Grey in it, Jeffrey Jones. Who else is in it? Alan Ruck from, I think he was in Succession. I haven't watched Succession, so I can't say. But Alan Ruck's really cool. He's also in one of the Star Trek movies. I want to say one of the Next Gen movies, but I can't be sure. I think it might be Insurrection. Or it might even be First Contact. I'm not really 100%. But yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day is great. Mia Sara, fantastic. Written and directed by John Hughes. Iconic movie, classic car. Just, it's Ferris Bueller. And then probably John Hughes's masterpiece. 'Tis the Breakfast Club 30th Anniversary Edition. Again, what more can you say about the Breakfast Club? It's the friggin' Breakfast Club. Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, and Anthony Michael Hall. Really cool performance by Paul Gleason as the teacher who is overseeing the detention. If you don't know who he is, he was the chief of police in Die Hard, who was a bit of an asshole. Love the Breakfast Club. This is an upgrade, same as Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because I still have them on DVD. In fact, I think I have another John Hughes film in this selection of movies. So yeah, so Breakfast Club, love it. Great soundtrack too. Now this is another 80s film, and this is the only Steven Spielberg film I don't think I've ever seen. It's Empire of the Sun. I own this on DVD, but there's one film that I've never really been in the mood to watch. So I'm kind of looking forward to actually getting around to seeing it. This apparently has an all-new digital transfer remastered in 1080p high definition. Very early role for Christian Bale. It's got John Malkovich in it, and Ben Stiller's in it as well. Miranda Richardson, Nigel Havers. like I said, this is probably the only Spielberg film I haven't seen. I've seen Sugarland Express, I've seen Jewel, I've watched Jaws, Close Encounters, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've even seen Always. I watched 1941. I'd say Spielberg was probably my favorite filmmaker because of the amount of iconic movies that he's made and how they're completely rewatchable. And Empire of the Sun is probably the only one I haven't seen. I also highly recommend checking out the last film he directed, The Fabelmans, which is a autobiographical story of how Steven Spielberg became a filmmaker and his love for movies, but also how he had to deal with the divorce and the separation of his parents, and how he became a child of divorce, and why that always appears, that sort of theme appears in his earlier movies like E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But yeah, Empire of the Sun, really looking forward to checking it out. Then I picked up, and I said this in the last video, that I didn't own it, and now I do own it on Blu-ray, is Commando. Yay! One of the cheesiest movies of all time, directed by Mark L. Lester, and screenplay by Steven D'Souza. Now, Steven D'Souza wrote, or rewrote, I guess, Die Hard. But he also wrote, and I think he directed, the 1994 live-action Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he was coked off his tits for the entirety of the movie. But I'm now an owner of Commando. I think this was the last... I think this is the last Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I need on Blu-ray, because not so long ago, I picked up Raw Deal. And I also have Red Heat, I have The Running Man, I have Total Recall, I have Terminator. I haven't got Twins, but I'm probably going to buy that from Germany. I haven't got Junior, but they're not films that I'm in a rush to get. I just mainly want to focus on his action stuff. Stuff like End of Days and Sixth Day, I wasn't overly fussed on them when they came out. Like Collateral Damage is also not a very good film, but Commando's fucking iconic and it's amazing. So I'm so glad I finally got this in the collection. Although I would have loved it if they'd used the poster art from the original poster, or the same as the DVD from Pathé, or I think it was Pathé that released it in the UK. This is apparently the director's cut. I did not know there was a director's cut up until a few years ago. It doesn't add much on because the runtime is 85, so whether or not it's a completely re-edit, who knows? I haven't watched the director's cut yet, but I love that. Then we have the complete first season of HBO's adaptation of The Last of Us. This show is incredible. The game is fantastic. I haven't played the second game, so I'm going to be playing that at some point, but the TV show is incredible. It's beautifully directed. It's wonderfully acted by everyone involved. Bella Ramsey is very good as Elle. Pedro Pascal as Joel, great casting. There's an episode in here, if you haven't seen the show, there's an episode in here which features two characters who only get a very, very short time in the game, but it is one of the most emotional and gripping and just beautifully acted pieces of television you will ever see. And it's Ron Swanson of Parks and Recreation. Just watch it. It's a great TV show. I'd say it is far and above better than The Walking Dead, which I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I love The Walking Dead. I have the Walking Dead box set over here. I'm waiting for The Ones Who Lived, which is out in February, and I cannot wait to see Michonne finally get reunited with Rick, or find out what happened to Rick after he was taken away in the helicopter. So I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I love it. But The Last of Us is better. It's just better. Then we have one 4K release, and I was waiting for this to come down in price in CEX so I could pick it up, and it is Avatar 2: The Way of Water. I have seen this. I watched this on Disney Plus, and I thought it was fantastic. I love the first one as well. She's always bet on Cameron. Yeah, it's Avatar. Like, people were like, oh, we have to wait 9-10 years to watch Avatar 2, and it's still made over $1 billion. So people do like Avatar. They go to see it because the visual effects of it in it are far and above better than anything you will see in the next 10 years. Well, we will see in the next 5 years. It's just so innovative and just like incredibly well made. Yeah, I mean, it's cheesy moments in it. It's fucking Avatar. But I mean, how long is the film? I remember watching this and I was just like, it's that long? Well, it says there's over 3 hours of bonus features. So the film is 192 minutes, and it does not feel like 192 minutes. And the reason I bought the 4K was because it has the regular Blu-ray in it. And in fact, there's 3 discs. And this was originally £22 in CEX, and it dropped down to £15. And I had a voucher, so I was just like, you know what? I'll use it. I'll buy something. I'll cheer myself up. Avatar: The Way of Water. Now I've got it. I'm a happy chappy. And these last 4, I picked these up mainly because they were films that I did want to get. But this exact label is sort of not going to exist anymore. It's the Warner Premium Collection from HMV. All of the films that they've got have now gone down to 2 for $15. I don't have the full collection because there are certain films that I don't want. We just move Kylo Ren out of the way. So I do have a fair few. I've got a couple here. I've got 2001: A Space Odyssey. 2010: A Space Odyssey. Bad Day at Black Rock. Blow. Clash of the Titans. Excalibur. Forbidden Planet, which I love. The Haunting, the original one from Robert Wise, which is honestly is one of the scariest films ever made. The Hidden, great 80s sci-fi action comedy starring Kyle MacLachlan and directed by Jack Shoulder. We've got Krull. Motherfucking Krull. Great movie. Another one of my favorite science fiction films of all time. Logan's Run. I love Logan's Run. I've got a poster on the wall. I've got Outland. I've got the original Thing from Another World. I've got the Time Machine. I've got Pet Sematary. And I've got one of the most underrated crime films of the 1970s. And it is The Yakuza, which was directed by Sidney Pollack. And it was written by Paul Schrader and his brother. And Robert Towne as well. It's got Robert Mitchum in it and Takakura Ken. It's badass. Absolutely badass. So I wanted to add a few more. There was a few that I wanted that I can probably order online, but I was in HMV in Cardiff City Centre. I was just like, I'll pop in and I'll have a look, see what they've got. And I picked up the extended original cut of Jackie Chan's Mr. Nice Guy. I remember watching this and being, why is Gabby from Neighbours in this? Directed by Sammo Hung and starring Jackie Chan. Really wanted to see the original cut of this because I remember the Australian cut, mate, or the English version. I'm assuming it was Miramax who released it in the States and in the West because they tended to do that and ruin the films. So I'm glad I've picked that up because I can watch that now and I'll be a happy chap. Then there's one that I wanted to add to my Stephen King collection. It is Dolores Claiborne, starring Kathy Bates and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Good film. I have actually seen this. I watched this a while back. It's more of a drama, like Shawshank and The Green Mile. But this connects to it sort of connects to I think it was Castle Rock and The Dark Tower and Needful Things. But I'm glad I've got it now, and I can happily watch this. Absolute classic that I don't know why I haven't owned at all. I don't even think I've got this on DVD. It's Trading Places. I love Trading Places. Eddie Murphy at top of his game in this movie. Also, Dan Aykroyd, fantastic. The old guys, played by Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici, hilarious. Basically, Statler and Waldorf. And Denholm Elliott and Jamie Lee Curtis. Who doesn't love Jamie Lee Curtis? Trading Places, fantastic movie. So good, so funny. Directed by John Landis and written by, apparently it's written by Timothy Harris and Herschel Weingrod. Or Weingrod. Don't know those. But they wrote a fantastic script. And the last one, and yes, it is a John Hughes film, but it's not directed by John Hughes. It's directed by Howard Dutch. It is Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink's pretty cool. I say it's pretty cool. It's fucking awesome. It's Pretty in Pink. It's John Cryer, Molly Ringwald, and what's his name? Andrew McCarthy. James Spader plays a creepy dude in it. Annie Potts from Ghostbusters is in this. Harry Dean Stanton, John Cryer, who I've already said. Great movie. The scene in the record store with John Cryer singing "Cry a Little Tenderness" is iconic, and now I can own this. Add this to the collection. So I've got a John Hughes collection, which is secretly also a Molly Ringwald collection, because Molly Ringwald. But yeah, so that is my pickups for the last 2 months or so. There are some that I haven't included because this video would be about 5 hours long, so I've decided not to include them. But there's things like, what have we got? The Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, The Mask, Brightburn, 11/22/63, another Stephen King adaptation, and our release of Carrie, which I don't know why I didn't add that. I think it was because I might have bought that beforehand. I've also bought the Nia DaCosta remake of Candyman, which I haven't watched yet, and Doctor Sleep, which is fantastic, another Stephen King film. I was trying to get as many Stephen King movies as I possibly could. So yeah, that is it. This is why I buy movies. I like to be able to hold the physical copy. I like to be able to read the back of the box. I like to be able to watch the special features. And I'm not taken away from streaming. Streaming is fantastic if you don't want to have a library. But I want to have a library. And unfortunately, because we had some unfortunate news again the other day. We are not able to transfer the mortgage, well, the house deeds into our names because my mum passed away. So even though the mortgage was paid, the equity was released on the property. So we now have a year to pay that money back, which is quite a bit of money. And the only way we can do that is to sell the house. Now, it's only me and my brother, and who are in the house. My sister's married. She lives somewhere else. So this house, which I've lived in my entire life, I was born in 1983. This is the only place that I've known as home. I'm 40 years old now, and this is the only place I know as home. And I have to sell my house and find somewhere else to live. So at some point during 2024, this backdrop will be gone and replaced with something else, possibly. Who knows? Hopefully, better fucking lighting. But that was my pickups, and yeah, that's all I wanted to do. I know it's 25 minutes. People apparently really like the long videos, which is really cool because I like to waffle. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks to everyone for the comments and subscribing. I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers. I know that's not a lot of people compared to some other YouTubers, and I'm not technically a YouTuber. I'm just a guy who talks to his camera about movies and Blu-rays, and I don't class myself as a YouTuber. I have a full-time job, and my videos are always shot in one go at 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, it's 2 o'clock in the morning now. I started this one early. So I want a thumbs up, high five, and fist bump to everybody who has subscribed, has commented and said, we love your videos, you're different to the other YouTubers, you don't fuck around, you just say it as it is. That's what I wanted to do. Like, everybody talks, everybody waffles, but nobody really just tells you. Just speaks. They're always more concerned with reviewing or what they're buying out and about, whereas no one really gives a shit about the movies, which is what really bugs me. So that's why I do this, because I like to inform people of movies and also the history of cinema. I'm not saying I'm a cinema historian, but I'm a massive movie nerd, and it's all that's in my brain. So yeah, as usual, what I normally do is I throw up the peace sign and I say, peace, I'm out.